Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Spider-Man reviews leading up to Spider-Man Far From Home in just a few months. I'm kind of going out of order this time. My original review was supposed to be for Spider-Man 2, but since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just came out on Blu-ray yesterday, I thought I'd give this a review and add it to my Spider-Man videos, even though it's kind of going out of order a little bit. My original plan was to do one Spider-Man movie a month leading up to Far From Home, but since I'm kind of going out of order, expect 2 Spider-Man reviews next month. I was really interested in seeing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse when it came out because, well, for a few reasons. Number one, it's an animated movie. Number two, it's about Miles Morales. I don't know anything about Miles Morales as a character. And 3, it looked like it was going to be a different Spider-Man movie than what we were used to seeing. Yes, there's multiple different Spider-Men or Spider-People, whatever you want to call it in the movie, but just something about the tone and the way the animation looks and just how the story is in the movie, it looked different than the other Spider-Man movies that we've gotten. Now, I didn't get a chance to see this movie in theaters, although I really wish I would have, because this movie is absolutely fantastic. I loved everything about this movie. It hooked me from scene 1, like not even a minute into the movie and I was already hooked. And by the time it ended, I didn't want it to end. I wanted it to keep going. I wanted to see more. It's a 2-hour movie, but it felt like an hour long. It just went by super quickly. And you can judge whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I see it as a good thing because when a movie leaves you wanting more, that's one of the highest compliments you can give it. I really loved Miles Morales in this movie. Now, like I said, I don't know anything about this character, but seeing him in this movie, I couldn't have imagined a better first movie for him. He was likable, he was funny, he had a nice character arc that was sometimes emotional, and he has a lot of great scenes in this movie. There's this one scene, I'm not gonna get into spoilers in this video, but there's one scene with him and his dad towards the end of the movie that brought a tear to my eye. It was very emotional, very well handled, and I really cared for Miles Morales, and I cared for him a lot, especially in that scene. Now, we see a lot of Spider-People, Spider-Men, whatever you call them, in this movie. There's, of course, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Spider-Gwen, Peter Porker, I believe his name, Spider-Man Noir, and a Japanese or Asian Spider-Man. I don't know her name, I don't remember her name, but either way, we see a lot of Spider-People in this movie, and we do get somewhat of backstories with them, but the way it's handled was really well done. It was kind of played for laughs, their individual origin stories, and when it happened, I was just kind of like, we're doing this again, but then when it happened, I found myself enjoying it. I found myself laughing. It was actually well written and well filmed. And even though they're not on screen for a long period of time, I really cared about them. I really liked them. I wanted to see more of them, and I was glad to see them in action. And by the way, the action in this movie is beautifully shot, and the animation, again, is beautiful in this movie. It's a really interesting type of animation, but as far as I know, I've never seen animation done like this, at least in like a blockbuster movie form. It's beautiful animation, and the action's phenomenal. This is also a really funny movie. I was not expecting this movie to be as hilarious as it is, but there were times where I was laughing so hard, I had to rewind the movie because I missed what they said or I missed the next joke. This is also the most comic booky Spider-Man movie that we've gotten. And sometimes it takes it literally. Like when Miles Morales gets his powers, you start to see you start to hear his thoughts a little bit louder. You'll sometimes see what he's thinking in like text form next to his head, or when like a character's falling, you'll hear him go ah, and you'll see the ah text going across the screen. It was really smart on the filmmakers to do that because it's an animation form. If this was done in a live action form, it wouldn't have worked. Only the Batman 60s show was able to pull that off, but for what they were going for with this movie, since it's animation, it was actually smart on their end to do that. They wouldn't have been able to do this if it was a live action. Now, the villain in this movie is Kingpin, and I don't know anything about him. I wasn't well versed into the actual comic books of Spider-Man as a kid, and he was a pretty good villain. I liked him, but his character brought on one tiny little issue I have with the movie, and that is his backstory on why he doesn't like Spider-Man felt a little forced. You know, when we see what really happened, it was done in a flashback form. It was just kind of like, okay, so that's how it is. It's almost like the filmmakers forgot to give him some sort of backstory or character arc, and that's just how they did it. But in a weird way, it kind of worked. It's kind of weird how that happened. It was kind of like abrupt a little bit how it was brought up, but it sort of worked in a way. And I can forgive that minor issue because of the rest of the movie was fantastic. I was also surprised by the voice work in this movie. The voice acting's phenomenally done, and I was a little surprised to see who was in this movie who played one of the Spider-Men. I'm not going to give who it is because I personally didn't know. All I know is when I found out who it was, I could not stop laughing. It was perfect casting, and it was great to see him in this type of movie. And also, you're going to want to stay for the end credit scene because it's easily like top 5 my favorite end credit scenes in these movies. It was hilarious. I was watching this movie by myself, and I felt like I was laughing too hard, even though I was watching it alone. It's that funny, and it's honestly genius what they did with it. So yeah, you're going to want to stick around for it because it's a great end credit scene. So yeah, I can't praise this movie enough. I absolutely love this movie. I really wish I would have seen it in theaters, but it's whatever. I have it on Blu-ray now. I saw it on my 4K TV, and the Blu-ray looks absolutely amazing. The animation really pops on a 4K TV. So I really recommend picking up the Blu-ray. It looks absolutely great. The movie's fantastic, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is Oscar worthy. And it's weird that I say that because this movie actually won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. But honestly, if it hadn't have won, I'd still give it this type of rating because it's that good. It's quite possibly my favorite Spider-Man movie now. So let me know what you guys thought of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in the comment section. And next month, you're going to be getting 2 Spider-Man reviews, Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. So look forward to those pretty soon. And are you excited for Spider-Man Far From Home? I know I am. The trailer looks great. I love Tom Holland as a character. I like all the characters that were brought up. So whatever your thoughts on everything is, let me know in the comment section. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, click right here. And I'll see you guys next time.